Leanne and Palisa, thank you very much indeed. Have a beautiful day, and we'll see you both bright and early tomorrow morning with another edition of the best breakfast show in the world, Morning Life. We're here in Sandton, and we're busy talking about state-owned entities and the communicators in those entities. And they've had some important comments and questions posed to them just before the break, and I just want my panelists to comment on those very briefly.
Yeah, I think one of the points that was raised by the commentator, I think it was JJ, it's about how to ensure that we create coherence and also how to the institution appreciate the fact that communication is a strategic management tool of an institution. I think it goes overall to the whole structure, the whole hierarchy from the minister to the president down to all the layers of the CEOs that are appointed through the government, because the point I'm going to make is the lack of respect and appreciation of the work that people do. If you don't respect our work, we disrespect our own people. We treat our people with absolute disdain. We know that there are no consequences. I can assure you that communicators will communicate until the kingdom come. But the message that they'll be communicating will be completely different from what comes out, from what their bosses are saying. So I agree fully with Unkgopose that one of the areas that we need to do, we need to make sure that we shake the element of this interest. If board members are keenly and they want to see themselves in the media, they must also subject themselves to the ethos of communication. They need to be coached so that they can be able to speak better information and communicate information that does not represent them, but represent the institution that they are serving. Right. So my most serious point is how we respect this institution. This institution was created by our own people, and we must serve them with dignity and respect.
Okay. What about using things like GCIS more effectively? How do we do that?
The consolidation of spend that was discussed earlier on, yes, we need policy. As I said, in the past, all these were policy statements which never gave effect to the practicality of directing a particular spend to a certain grouping. From the 1st of April, that's where monitoring should happen, because we will now have a public procurement law that direct how the spend must be targeted to certain sectors, to communities, to black-owned companies, and to different sectors that are identified in that public procurement law. So now it's a time, but also organizations like SUCA must monitor that, like SUF, they must keep on monitoring that. And if they see there's a deviation or non-compliance, it must be reported, because it cannot only be left to the regulations. Implementation as well must be monitored. So we're hoping that from the 1st of April, we'll be keen to see, because in the past they were saying, no, there's no law. If I do it, I'll go to jail. Right? But now there's a regulation. There's a public procurement regulation that is supporting directing of spend to certain communities, black-owned companies, and we must monitor that. But lastly, we must professionalize this industry. In the past, there was a CEO of one of the state-owned entities that resigned because of public pressure, mainly coming from the media and all these other areas. The professional industry that he represents went to the media and said, no, we stand by the man. He's a professional, he's ethical. Down the line, few weeks down the line, he went back to state-owned entities as a CEO. And that's what we want. If we professionalize this industry, the corrupt one must be stricken off the roll. They mustn't come back. They mustn't pop up in another state-owned entity. Right? To board member here, they get fired, but they pop up in another state-owned entity at the board level. If that is professionalized, and we have a regulator that professionalizes just like any other, then we won't see this. So that professionalization agenda that SUCA is also driving, it must be supported by all state-owned entities.
We're starting to run out of time, but I know Kulupasiwe is here. Is he? All right. Can we get a microphone to you? Because I want to get a comment from you. And I'm pointing out Eskom because as a journalist, you've done a great job actually in helping us do our job. You talk about availability and being able to communicate. I'm just wondering if you could share some thoughts with your fellow members here, and also what is it that your ethos is in terms of communicating the story of the SOEs, because you seem to be doing it better than a lot of the other SOEs.
Well, thank you, Peter, and thanks for the compliments. I think we are, I suppose, preaching to the converted, because all of us here are communicators and therefore nothing new. But Secondly, I thought I was not going to say anything today because I just wanted to hear what other people are saying. But it is what it is, Peter. The first thing really is that you need to be available. We as ESCOM, we have told ourselves that despite all the challenges that we are facing, we will always avail ourselves 24 hours a day. As a matter of fact, sometimes JJ and his team at Power FM, they call us at very odd hours in the morning or early or late in the evening, but we're always there because we have a story to tell, and we are not necessarily, to be honest with you, depending on the media to tell the story on our behalf. We use the media as a platform to reach to our own people. So Mr. Khanyak has mentioned that
unfortunately I've run out of time, as these things do. You know, television is very precise. I actually even wanted to give you more time, but unfortunately I don't have. I'm just going to say goodbye to you. Mr. Matlangu, thank you very much indeed, President of SUKA, the Advisory Board Chairperson of the State-Owned Entity Procurement Forum, Mr. Kamkhelo Mampane, thank you very much indeed. And my boss, Kaiser Khanyako, thank you very much indeed. I hope my card still swipes at the SABC after this conversation. But thank you very much indeed. And thank you at home also for being part of this conversation. 717. That's the number of the day, the number of state-owned entities that you are a shareholder of. Make it turn, find out more about them, and see what they're doing in your name and on your behalf. Have a great day, everybody. And we'll see you next week. We're talking to Supra Mahumapelo in the Northwest.